Hey everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 2 team selection. As said before, I'm going to try to just do one video a week to add a bit more substance to it so it's not as rushed. And that'll include both going over what happened the previous week as well as plans upcoming. Week 1 was not a great week in the Kickass landscape for a first time. Maybe just not prioritizing positions properly, didn't spread the budget around properly, maybe some good results, but definitely not doing very well as I'm in like 1900 or something. Or not 1900, 9000, something here. I can't, it's not showing me the rank. I can't, oh, there we go. I can scroll up now. 9,341, and I think there's like 12,000, 13,000 people playing. So not very good at all. We used all of the substitutions. Some players did not do very well. Castellanos and Lazio did not do well at all. They lost, I think, 3-1 to Como. Hegelson got 0 points. Jean should have stayed in there. He had 5 points. I subbed him out for Palma on turn three, and he didn't even feature in the squad at all. So that kind of just ruined 5 points of mine. Maybe not the great budget option that he looks like, although still can keep costs down. So just like with Castellanos, Providel did not do that great. 9.6, not horrible considering a 3-1 loss, but not great. The back line did okay. Dumfries was part of the 5-0 thrashing for Inter over Torino, but he did not contribute in attacking way, but he still got 17.1 points. If you funded Thuram or Lautaro, good for you. You were probably pretty happy. Uh, the lowest scoring defender, which I was surprised about, Estepinian, did get an assisted the lone Milan goal in their shock 2-1 loss to Cremonese. Cambiaso still scored well despite getting a red card. I believe that's going to be for violent conduct and therefore it might be missing at least 3 games. So if you have Cambiaso, definitely a transfer out. And Di Lorenzo only gets 15.8 points in his clean sheet against Napoli. Uh, Captaincy it was great in the first game, was it first or second game? On the Saturday. Uh, De Bruyne had a nice free kick that kind of just dropped in the penalty area and ended up finding the net. So I kept the captaincy on De Bruyne all week long. I did not change that. I was content with the midfielder. Um, Goal contribution ended up at 40 points there. A reminder that a captaincy is worth 1.5 times, not 2 times. Stanchu and Endor, I was kind of happy to see that Endor did start in that position for Fiorentina, maybe a little further back than he was playing in the Coppa Italia, and then Stanchu started as well for Genoa. It was a nil-nil game. I thought for the budget, 10.3 wasn't horrible. One of the more disappointing players was Luca. 2 goals for Napoli did not contribute on either of them. It is kind of a cheaper, high level striker on a big team that I might still keep, but wasn't super impressed with the play of Luca. I think he got himself a yellow card at one point too. And then Jonathan David, repping Canada, scores his first goal on his debut for Juve. If you watch the replay, it might be debatable that it should have been an own goal, but nonetheless, David is credited with the goal. So I was really happy about that and hoping there is many more to come. So that totaled 156.8 fantasy points. The max I could have gotten is if I didn't take off. Gianna would have been at 161, but there are people scoring in like the 200s right now. Like, good for them. Like, this is going to be tough. Also, Atalanta, I think, just drew their match 1-1, if I'm not mistaken. So, despite an easier fixture, it did not get me many points there. Whereas if you had like the Cremonese manager, you would have done very well. Okay, but we will go from there and see to how things are now looking in the squad. So we've already made 4 out of 5 transfers, might still make another one, but we're trying to target some of these players that did a little better, seeing if we can kind of find a rhythm as to what players are most favorable. Obviously, you had Scott McTominay do very well. You had Nico Pats do very well. Both players that scored very highly, despite sometimes not even getting as much contribution as other players. But some players that we have moved out. So obviously we got rid of Cambiaso, um, who was my striker here. So Castellanos has been moved out after not featuring very well at all. We brought in Bonazzoli from Cremonese as he did score quite well, and they have an easier fixture, so Cremonese should definitely challenge in this match. We brought in Delabashu as a budget option that did quite, or that is starting in the Lazio team as a cam, so I thought I'd try that one out. Uh, Sucic, or however you pronounce it, started in the midfield for Inter. They look poised to score a lot of goals this season, so I thought a cheaper option to get into the Inter midfield. We brought in Kalulu to have still represent that Juve defense. He scored quite well. His price went up a little bit. And that is it for now. Everyone else remains the same. So we're gonna give Atalanta another go with the manager. We have some turn three players that we can add in. We probably won't put Palma in just because unless a player actually has zero as well, as he might not feature. But that's just to keep the price down. I do have 2.1 credits in the bank, but these are some players just trying to go with some players that did score well, trying to see maybe how different the landscape is compared to the past fantasy because there are some players scoring quite well that they're getting points for things not traditionally incorporated in fantasy, like dribbles and stuff like that. So it is going to take a little bit of getting used to see who's getting points consistently and how to work them in with the tough budget that there is to work with. I am content that I just went with one goalkeeper despite Providel not doing great. I don't think I could fit in a second goalkeeper. And I'm kind of happy with the players that I have on the bench. Obviously, I'm sure someone's not going to score well, and I'll want to put an Enduro statue. Um, but I'm pretty content with how this is lining up. I got two players playing on turn one, one, two, three players on turn two. If any of them don't perform well, we'll just sub them in, and then the rest will be on turn three. But that's kind of how we're lining up in the 4-3-3 system. Really happy with De Bruyne's performance. I'm going to captain Estepinian first just because he's turn one. I'm not assuming or I'm not expecting a score that I'm going to be so happy with that I keep the captaincy on him. In turn two, I'd probably be looking to captain maybe Luca to have a bounce back game or De Bruyne again, either or probably De Bruyne again. And if that were not to work out, I'd probably throw the captaincy on Jonathan David. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just choosing some players that did score well. Unfortunately, my budget did drop by zero point 0.7, so that also happens to basically all the players are going up and down depending on how they perform. Um, and your budget fluctuates accordingly. So it's not like Fantasy Premier League where you get like half the increase. You get the full increase and or decrease. So right now I'm on a decrease after not having a very good week. Um, and yeah, hoping to build that back up. We'll take a quick look at the league. Just as a, oh, sorry, that's not. Go to the team and then the league. Here we go. So we have 291 players in it, which is great. You can still join, obviously, I think at least. And we have some crazy high scores in here. 277.55 in the first game. Just trying to take a look at some of the players that were chosen. So picking two big players in Pats and McTominay, great call. These are just two players that I have a struggle picking, maybe just based on other types of fantasy that I play, but I'm just going might have to adjust my thinking. I don't think my total thinking towards how the new point system is has applied itself yet, and I think I'm struggling because of that. Um, then we have Skamaka who played well. Pavlovic got a goal for Milan, so defender getting a goal was big, and the cheaper goalkeeper and defender really paid off as they scored well as well. Double Napoli defense did well as well. We have Korani here. Uh, McTominay and De Bruyne combination. The midfield was very strong. Good attack threat. Yildiz did out play Jonathan David there. And then also had Pavlovic. That seems to be a big one with Lili in net. So some consistencies. Again, Lili, McTominay, Pat, Yildiz. You see the players that are showing up. I'm going to give my own strategy one more. go through, but I might have to start copying some of these other things going forward. Also, just crazy. Look at Bastoni's score here, 45 without the uh without the multiplier of 1.5. So really interesting to see that as well. Bastoni major points there. Anyway, that's our top three right now. Those are some of the transfers I'm making. Um, yeah, it might take a bit of a learning curve. Maybe this year might not be the year that we're going to win it. But you got to learn little by little, and every game week we'll see. Um, we'll hopefully get a better sense of things. Plus, with 5 transfers per week, that'll make things easier as well. Lastly, I do still have one more transfer. I might make it. If I do, it'll be posted on Twitter. A new video will not be made. Anyway, good luck in game week 2. Hopefully, things go better for me and for all of you as well, regardless of how well you did first week. And we'll see you again soon. Take care.